Hello,
There's another one
Yakut.
of those monuments.
Where? Where?
I can't stop thinking about Miranda. A new person not born in New Jerusalem?
Hmm.
Can you imagine that? I wonder what it's like to be her.
Fascinating. Depends on who created her.
That's true. Just look at our team. Imagine getting your worldview from Byron versus, say, Melville.
All very unique.
The outcome couldn't be more different. Which brings us back to the question of who built this place. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, people are all unique. We accept that. Our people, biological people. But we don't seem as unique as some of the... Every one of these, the new people... We haven't met all 1,000, of course, so we can't quite say that. But of the ones we've met so far, they are totally distinct. Okay, they're from very different parts. If you were to lay out all the people and their personalities and their drives on some sort of chart, they're all separate from each other. There's not so many commonalities between them. There's more differences than commonalities, which seems quite planned. It's just a matter of numbers. The more you have, the more you're going to see similarities. I want to ask you about something else. What do you make of these labs?
They're very different from the rest of these structures in that they serve a clear purpose. Everything else is kind of surreal, but the labs are places where people lived and worked. I don't know what that means, but I think it means something.
Yeah. Yeah, these structures are quite sterile, aren't they? But, as you say, the labs are where people worked and did whatever. What did you say about that monument? Is that another monument around? Do you mean that monument? Or do you mean the ones with the... That one with the numbers on? Has it got a number on the back of this? No, it hasn't. Do you mean that big structure, the one you walk through? Oh, it's it's right here. Look, right bloody here. Sorry, Yaku, I'm not looking properly. This one hasn't got numbers on. I feel a bit better about that. That maybe I haven't missed anything on that other one. But what that is, I don't know. Maybe only the Sphinx ones have got numbers on. Because the Sphinx is going to be a puzzle. The number's going to be useful for a Sphinx's puzzle. Eye of the needle. So threading something. Threading something fine. We've got blue there. We have a thing with a wall. But we can't get the jammer in there because there's a barrier. Driller, sorry. I like the jammer more. We've got a box we can grab. Let's grab this. Let's have that box. If I was smart, of course, I'd probably examine the area carefully and then do it. But you can see the way I do things. I tend to like trust in the process and just start grabbing things and moving things around. That's not very smart, is it? I guess sometimes I analyse things, but it's not how I feel I do it when I'm playing for you. Which is a strange thing. We need... so we can't get this out of here. Can we manipulate that? Can we manipulate that jammer? No, because we need to be able to get through there. We need to be able to get inside here to move that jammer around and do something else with it. And I can't reach it right now. Even if I do this... I can't reach to do anything about it, can I? So, how could I possibly get to that jammer? I can only think about... Can I climb over? Can I climb over? What a question. I might be able to. I can. Look at that. So you're going to be doing... Jam over there. We don't need anything else. We've got that. And then I presume we're going to use the tunneler on this. What's through there? We've got a blue receiver. Okay. And a blue beam. We don't need to do anything else in here now. So if we take this and we do that, Ah, no, because we need to do something else. Oh! Oh, it's behind a thing. I didn't realise the fence was there. I didn't see the fence. Fine. In that case, forget that for now. Let's do this. And what does that get us? We've got a hole there. And we need to... Ah! If we... How many objects have we got here? We've only got a couple, haven't we? So you need to... Shall we now use this to jam that gate? I think we might do. But we're going to need to... Okay, so we need to use the jammer to jam that gate. Which means we don't need this anymore. And then we'll need... But we'll also be able to need to thread this... And that will need to be over here. So about here, probably. We might be able to do it. We might be able to do it. Okay, get this box. Let's get back over here again. No, put it down, me. We might need to need this box, I think. I imagine the box might be necessary. Oh, we do. No, actually, we definitely need the box because this box needs to hold this open so that we can get a bead on this. Ah, that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. Lovely.
I've managed to extract an audio file from 1K's data stream incident. It's hard to be sure because it's just a fragment, but I think it's some kind of log or diary.
We finished a new lab today. Some processes are still harder than others.
But
energy output was up 2,000%. It's incredible how each leap forward enables another. The next iteration of the machine will...
So as we suspected, someone was experimenting here. But experimenting on what? What was this machine they were building?
Maybe it's whatever powers the megastructure.
Exactly. And it's we. There's more than one person involved there. Seesaw. Yeah, no matter how young Miranda might sound, she's obviously pretty smart. Seesaw. So back and forth, maybe to do stuff. Where's the red? Red's there. Let's make a hole. And then we need blue, but we need to keep the red open. So, but we can fire the beam between here. So we can do that. To that. Oh, I've done it wrong. I've done it wrong. I did it wrong. Maybe I didn't. No, I think I did. I think I did it wrong. Oh, but I won't be able to get through there after, will I? I can do that. But I also can't do this because the beam is going to clash. I thought this seemed a bit too simple. There we go. Right, okay. What I can do... There is a way to reset puzzles, I've just forgotten how to do it. I think what I need to do is I need to have it... I have to have it working through a wall. So that the beam goes away afterwards. Oh, god damn it. With that jammer. Flipping heck, like making things hard work for yourself. Return to a puzzle for a second attempt.
One case solved that one.
No, sorry.
Oh, it was really clever.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was me being very stupid.
I've been meaning to talk to you.
Oh, yes.
This, vision you had,
Uh-huh.
the data stream overload. How did it feel?
Unpleasant at first and beautiful.
Don't you worry that maybe your first impression was correct? And after that, your mind was basically being hijacked?
I think I made contact with something.
Just don't take this too lightly, okay? We're sturdier than our ancestors, but a mind is still a fragile thing.
Yeah, but also, minds expand by experience. Not all change is damaging. I'll be careful. Last one. Okay. The last thing we've got to do is the two special ones and any other secrets that are around you. I think I saw one over here, actually. Yeah, there's one over here, look. There's a little console. The New Theology by George Bernard Shaw. The object of the whole evolutionary process is to realise God, that is to say, so the old... Okay, let me start that again. Too late, I shouldn't be doing this when it's so late in the night. The object of the whole evolutionary process is to realise God. That is to say, instead of the old notion that creation began with a God, a personal being, who, being perfect, created something lower than himself. So how would a perfect being create something imperfect? Never mind. The aim of the New Theology is to turn that process the other way and to conceive of the force behind the universe as working up through imperfection and mistake to a perfect organised being, having the power of fulfilling its highest purposes. In a sense, there is no God as yet achieved, but there is that force at work making God, struggling through us to become an actual organised existence, enjoying what to many of us is the greatest conceivable ecstasy, the ecstasy of a brain and intelligence, actually conscious of the whole and with executive force capable of guiding it to a perfectly benevolent and harmonious end. That is what we are working to. A laudable idea. Neve. After these events, Neve decided to consult the writings of the ancients, but while philosophy and religion interested her, it was art in all its forms that came as a revelation. To her delight, she found that meaning was not something constructed purely out of logical will, but that it could also be found in stories. That even when the characters and events of a story were not factual, they had a validity and weight as if they were somehow real after all. She was astonished that such profound experience was freely available to all humans, but concerned that too few took advantage of it. She set out to enrich the inner lives of her fellow citizens by promoting the arts, starting with a legacy of Gehenna. Neve sounds nice. I would like to meet her one day. She must know more about New Jerusalem art history than anyone. When we do, remind me to explain how to pronounce her name. The default settings on language libraries are wrong. Yeah, I imagine that it's a tricky one. Some of these Irish names are hard to pronounce. Luckily, I knew a Neve, which is why at university, which is why I I know how to pronounce it. Not because I'm particularly smart. Anyway, I guess I might have learned since then, but that's how I learned. From the Introduction to Leviathan by Thomas Hobbes. Nature, the art whereby God has made and governs the world, is by the art of man, as in many other things, so in this also imitated, that it can make an artificial animal. For seeing life is but a motion of the limbs, the beginning whereof is in some principal part within. What may we not say that all automata, engines that move themselves by springs and wheels as do as a watch, have an artificial life? For what is the heart but a spring, and the nerves but so many strings, and the joints but so many wheels, giving notion to the whole body, such as was intended by the artificer? Art goes yet further, imitating the rational and most excellent work of nature. Art goes further, imitating that rational and most excellent work of nature, man. But for art is created that great Leviathan called a commonwealth, or state, in Latin civitas, but is but an artificial man, though of greater stature and strength than natural, for whose protection and defence it was intended, and in which the sovereignty of is an artificial stole, as giving the life and notion of the whole. Some of this is past me. Some of it I'm getting. Some of it is just beyond me. I'm not quite understanding it. I think they're talking about, the state or a country can also be a machine, like a man or an animal, or a machine, like a man or a watch. Lastly, the pacts and covenants by which the parts of this body politic were first made, set together and united, resemble that fiat, or let us make man pronounced by God in the creation. It shows that Hobbes read Stratton and extrapolating the Talos Principle to the level of the state. But unlike Stratton, all he wishes for at the end of the day is a powerful ruler to control the machine, to tell him what to do. Also, in the basic physical, a man can be like a machine, but there's no mind in the machine. That's what makes the difference. Anyway, a bit too far beyond my poor little brain on this stuff. Right, let's go and find something else to look at. More question marks. Ooh. Oh. People weeping. People who are suffering. Weeping uncontrollably. That's a tank. Discover an ancient human artifact. What was with the virtual thingies though? What was with the virtual bits over there? We saw another glow like that when we came in. Right, here's a mystery, a triangle puzzle. Keeping connections. Okay. We have 2 places we can make O's. A red one. Okay, so we can... We've only got 1 beam. So although we can take that, we can't do anything with it yet. Let's have a look through here then. We got any more tools to use? I've enjoyed some of the architecture, but some of this is a bit brutalist, isn't it, really? It's not really like the interesting Gothic bits. I'd like to grab that, but I can't. I guess we can... Oh, I see what we can do. Okay, so we've got a limited set of connections here. We can take it from here. There it is there, see? But we can't direct it from here to here. Unless we can tell... How do we tell that one to aim at this? Well, we can't interact with it. Oh, unless we can do this. Hold on a second. Unless we can do this. can we do this? Can we go that and that? No, it's not reaching it. Is there a barrier in the way? Yeah, I can't put it far enough in. I want to keep the... Oh, that's what they said about keeping connections, didn't they? Moving it around while keeping the connections, then doing something else with it. Because if I do... hold on. If I do that, that's going to maintain the planned connections. And I can hopefully put it in here. Damn it! I pressed the wrong bloody button, didn't I? I lost the connections. Right. So, take this. We connect to there. And we connect to... Piss. Sorry. There. And there. And we do that. We keep connections. And then what do we want to do here? We want to take the... We need to go all the way over here. But that means we need to... So... Can we keep this open? We can by doing this. So now we can take this one. And that will not close. Do we need the tunnel anymore? I don't think we do need the tunnel anymore. Oh, I know. Oh, I see. We've got to maintain it like this. How do we maintain the beam from there? Because we can maneuver these two around and piggyback them, but we need to be able to keep this open still because this is the emitter. So that's the receiver. So I need another hole somewhere. That is not what I need. Well, unless I can do something through here where I... I don't need that at all anymore, do I? I need... We need to get away from this door, this thing, but we need to be able to get somehow get a thing in here, one of these things inside of here, but we can't. Unless... Oh, I can do it like that, I think. If we put... Right, okay. We need to put this thing back in the other area again. So what we do is we do this. We can grab this again. I think. Maybe I'm talking nonsense here. We've freed this one, yeah. So all we need now is to do that. Yes. And then Is that glowing a different colour now? I'm not sure. Seek the lice out elsewhere. Not quite sure what these are things. How do you earn those? The points to do that? It's saying you can just skip a puzzle. I don't want to skip a puzzle, but I want to know how I could skip a puzzle if I really had the desire to. I mean, it is nice. It's good for accessibility. If someone's struggling and they want to complete the game but they really can't do something, then can they... There's more than one question mark. Can they get a way around that? And I like that idea. Oh, hold on. Doesn't seem very safe. I have an electrical terminal and then there's water, but there we go. Luthrasir again.
While exploring the forest, I came across a site of primal force. A beautiful stag, standing on a hill silhouetted against the setting sun. It appeared like a messenger from some divine natural power, perhaps from Gaia herself. Even to a being such as myself, less susceptible to manipulation by instincts and hormones, it was clearly a moment of revelation. In such moments, we are told to avert our eyes. But what if we do not? What will we discover if we look more closely? If we could speak to the stag, what wisdom would it have to offer? The answer is none. The stag is an animal of overwhelming stupidity, driven only by fear, hunger, and lust. There is no abyss for us to plunge into behind this revelation. Rather, the revelation is as flat and unreal as the plywood walls of a film set.
Really? I think it may... A stag may not be a philosophical creature you could have an in-depth debate with. I think you're also doing it a disservice.